I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just want to announce that we are going to do this by the Open Meetings Act and everything. And can I have a motion to excuse Mayor Sherman? Motion Kirkman, second Coons.
Kirkman?
Yes.
Coons?
Yes.
Radcliffe?
Yes.
Wondergaard?
Yes. Is there any comments by the public? Nope. Approval of April 8th and April 15th council minutes.
We can approve them together because Brad was the only one that was absent.
Oh, perfect.
Can I have a motion?
I would motion that we approve the minutes for April 8th and April 22nd.
There you go.
Who's second?
Kirkman.
Coons?
Yes.
Radcliffe?
Yes.
Wondergaard?
Yes.
Kirkman?
Yes.
Cheyenne County Chamber Quarterly Report. Joe?
That was very
Not wasting time.
Hello, everybody. I think you got a copy of my report. You can see a lot of stuff happening in the first quarter of the year, January through March. A lot of online trainings that we did, several social hours, a lot of things going on. We had 934 total in event attendance, so pretty good attendance for the first quarter. The number I like is my total contacts, over 32,000 personal contacts that I made in that quarter. Website impressions, 179,000 people saw our website on the search engines on Google. Available properties page, we had 4,734 impressions. And the job posting page, which was very busy, 9,761. So we've been doing a lot of work on the website, on the back end of it, trying to improve the search engine rankings, and been pretty successful. People that have found us, the top searches were the hospital, the word Sydney in general, and Cheyenne County. Right underneath that was Gehrig Stitt. Yeah, it's really interesting to look at. So thank you for asking me to pay attention to that. It is interesting information. So, upcoming events, we have a lot going on. The big things there is May 3rd, we have Elston House ribbon cutting. It's a Saturday, that'll be at noon, so everybody come out and enjoy that. And then May 31st would be the Girls' Day Out event. And that's a lot of people looking forward to that one. So, in the first 3 months, we had 16 new members that signed up. You can see their names listed there. And then we've had actually 3 since then that have signed up to be members. So 3 for this month so far. Then I did include a page about some of the advocacy stuff that I do, just so you can see a little bit about what we do there. I only had to contact Paul Stroman one time. I didn't have to, but I did. I contacted him one time. He was very responsive. I've only contacted him once this month as well, so he's been very easy to work with. Of course, you guys know that. But as a chamber, we did support LB 415. Which has progressed on a little bit, looking good so far to protect that sick leave for everybody, and reword that to make it realistic for businesses as well. LB 173 was to provide funding for dual enrollment in Nebraska community colleges. We've been supporting that. And LB 304 is to keep the current child care subsidy in place, and so we've been supporting that as well. So yeah, just so you kind of know some of the stuff we've been doing. Everything's going good though, making a difference. I feel like.
Well,
So
that's awesome.
you guys got any questions for me or?
No.
I got
quarterly update.
Yep.
And so, yeah, you've improved your impressions by 3 times the last quarterly update. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I guess from the last quarter, what surprised you the most?
On the website?
No, just generally speaking. What
Yeah.
surprised you?
That's a hard question.
No, that's what I do. It's a hard one.
I wouldn't say I've really had any surprises. Most what I've seen is what I've expected to see. So I'm always pushing for more, and that's just my personality, you know. I want to see more activity in the community. I want to see more website usage. I'm always looking for more. But as far as surprises go,
What's the most positive thing that happened?
most positive thing, Ag Social was awesome. About 100 people out there for that. So it was great to be able to support that. Gave out $1,500 in scholarships to 2 different kids from the high school, from the high schools, one from Potter, one from Sydney. So that was a great event. Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anybody you want to give kudos to, and, you know, that you work with?
He's asking some hard questions.
Yeah.
No, I mean, our Ag Social Committee did an awesome job on that. Kirsten Richards heads that up, along with Ted Sentler from the bank. So, I mean, they're the ones that really made that event happen, and a lot of community members involved with that as well. So,
Cool,
yeah.
cool. How many members do we have now?
So, as of the end of the month, it was 204. We've still got a few stragglers that have not paid their membership dues for the year, so that number is a little bit low right now. I've had probably 10 to 12 pay since the beginning of the month that renewed, plus the 3, so we're around 220 right now. So, yeah.
All the question I got.
Any more?
Good.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
guys.
Food vendor permit for brick and mortar establishments, John. Yep. Thank,
Did she say no?
So, when they originally had that food permit, it was for food service trucks and trailers. That was the intent of the law. Places that created pizzas, fish, burgers, fancy tacos, and all that. We don't fall in that category. We're a concession trailer. We don't cook anything. Our food license that we carry isn't the same as what they carry. They have to have a 3-compartment sink. They have to have potable water. They have a lot of loopholes. Their license is different than mine. Inside the community, we do a lot of stuff with the Night of Hope. We do a lot of stuff with the Well Church. I would say 80% of the stuff we do, we don't charge for. And $350 for me, for something that I'm not really gonna benefit from, is tough. Especially because I have 2 brick and mortar locations. I have the theater and I have the snack shack out at the ball field. My trailer is licensed in Cheyenne County. My truck is licensed in Cheyenne County. It was bought from Adams, refurbished by Adams, and I buy everything I have in that from either Sonny's or Cashway. We have a lot of things going. We have Impact Sydney coming up, where one of our sister churches out of Kansas City is coming up, and we're doing a free eye care, health screening, oil changes, and we're gonna have the trailer up there, but we're not selling anything. And I understand it's not your guys' problem that we're not selling anything. I get that, but the playing field isn't level. We're not a food truck. We're not cooking food. We're not doing any of that kind of sort of thing. In fact, we don't even have the facilities there to cook. We have soda and we have popcorn. The popcorn is generally cooked at the theater and then brought in there. I'm just asking that if there's some way we can make an exception for the theater and that food trailer or concession trailer. And then I understand it's a fine line to walk, and I understand your guys' dilemma when you have to face somebody else. I get it. But the criteria between a food truck, a food trailer, and what I'm doing is night and day. It's not the same thing. And the 350 is tough. It's tough to swallow, especially since most of the events that are going to happen on Gold Rush days raise their price to have somebody out there. We can't afford to be at Gold Rush days. We can't afford to be at Downtown Sounds. We can't afford to be at the fair because they've all raised their prices to the point that we can't afford to participate. Not that we don't want to, but labor's $13.50 an hour. And my wife has a full job here at the city. We run a theater, we run the concession stand. We can't do everything, so we have to hire help. I just would like to, if you guys could consider either give me a break on it or give me an exemption on it, I would be greatly appreciated. Any questions?
I would like to kind of add to this, because we have other vendors, like the lady that sells snow cones, and she does hers out of a tent, and she's on the same level as what John is, but she doesn't have a brick and mortar. So my suggestion is to discuss this at the budget meetings during, your sessions, and see what we can come up with.
If I'm trying to remember who's in front of me, if I may, honestly, I don't think you can do anything at this point because it's in an ordinance, and our ordinance doesn't read ice cream truck, food truck,
Well, it says food
trailer.
truck.
It says itinerant vendor, which it would even include the clothing lady that sells clothes out of her truck. It says itinerant vendor, and you would have to change the wording in your ordinance to make exceptions for somebody that might have a local brick and mortar rather than somebody that doesn't, or either way, it's in your ordinance that itinerant vendors, you would have to change that to do this. I mean, I don't think you can unilaterally do that right now. I think Lori's probably right. The best time to do this is during, and Keiko will probably be bringing this to you very soon, in the next month or two, the fee schedule, and that's the time where all those fees are tied back to the ordinances to make those decisions. I think. I just don't want you to go into an area where you're giving an exception to an ordinance that.
Yeah, because it is an actual ordinance, so the ordinance
Yeah,
would have to
I
be
realize
changed.
that. I read
I
that.
mean, how could we change it for him to be able to get like a discount on it or something?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have to do that.
Talk about in
But,
budget.
it would be part of your everything is tied back to the fee schedule now, so you'd have to do it during that process, which is coming
Okay.
up very soon. So you can do it.
So we would have to change the ordinance and everything for it? Okay.
So John,
Trying to make it a trouble spot, but I'm just saying that the stuff that we do in the community far offsets. We're not doing that to make a profit.
Yeah,
We're not
especially if
doing
you're
that.
giving everything
We're doing
away.
that for community good. We are not interested in making that our living.
Yeah.
If we were, we would be going broke.
so John, the activity you're talking about, I assumed when I read this was about the ball fields, but is it different than the ball fields?
Sometimes
just
it's
his
the
trailer.
same. Sometimes, like when we have Guns versus Hoses, we'll have that trailer pulled out there, and we'll be selling raffle tickets out of it. No food, but we'll be selling raffle tickets out of it. And we'll have the trailer at the park for the walk.
Okay.
Okay.
Dave, you probably answered. When that ordinance was put in, that was basically to pick up on the food trucks that were coming in and selling.
Yeah, because we had brick and mortar establishments that were complaining because they were paying taxes and that type of thing, where they didn't think that it was fair that the food trucks would come in here and not have to, I think at that time it was $20. So you can do the $30 per day or the $350 per year. And so that is why, well, it went to council, and that's why council changed that, is because we had complaints from brick and mortar, but, you know, John and Kim, they are brick and mortar. So, I mean, but it's,
But the thing was, that was the height of COVID. That was the height of COVID when restaurants were struggling, when they couldn't put very many
Yes.
people in, and they felt that was, I mean, they could only have, I don't remember what it was, 10, 15 people in the restaurant at a time. And that's,
But a food truck can come in from Denver and park and, yeah.
they'll have, you know, they'll have 50 people lined up outside, standing shoulder to shoulder in the height of COVID, but you could only put, I mean, at least.
I remember those COVID discussions. There
I
were,
mean,
Yeah.
I know for me, I could have 10 people in my theater on each side, but you could go to Walmart and you could have 250 people in there. And that was okay, because that was an essential.
but I just think this would be something that you guys would talk about during the budgets and see
Budgets.
how you wanted to handle it at that time.
I kind of think you have to really without, wouldn't you, Kendra, if it's an
Yeah.
ordinance? If it says itinerant vendor, that includes everything.
Either you're gonna have to amend the ordinance, or you're gonna, you know, and we need to talk about it during the fee schedule, so.
Well, and that's fine. How do I say this? We're thought of well enough in the community, we had a private donor step up and gave us cash to pay this year's food license.
That's good.
But that's not going to solve next year's.
Yeah, yeah,
We can help with that.
It's just,
Think.
yeah,
and,
hopefully we can.
and I already pay a use permit. That, a lot of these places don't have a use permit. I pay a $50 a year use permit for the theater because I'm a movie theater. I'm not even sure what that's for. And then the bowling alley pays for the bowling, and then
Gaming machines,
then if
all
you have
that stuff.
pinball machines, you have to pay so much for a pinball machine.
State withdrew that this year.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I just paid that. I mean, it was $50, and it was like, well, okay, well, here you go, city, and take my money. I wasn't sure what I was going for, but here you go. So, I don't know. Like I said, I just wanted to draw your attention to it. I'm not here trying to get out of paying my fair share, but
Yep.
we pay our fair share in this community.
Oh, yeah, you guys do.
Anyway, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope,
you.
Oh,
nope, thank
okay.
you, John.
Thanks.
Historic Preservation Handbook Amendment, Brandy and Vicky.
Evening, council. I'll
She just
call on Vicki
waved.
if you really need her. All right, so the Historic Preservation Board is responsible for the designation, preservation, protection, and enhancement of structures representing the heritage for our city. The board conducted an internal review of their handbook and have made a suggested change to the city council to review. The board seeks approval to change the handbook. Recently, the city of Sydney was awarded CDBG funds from the state for downtown revitalization. Right before I got here, they had submitted their application and were awarded in June of last year. They have about 14, 15 months left to spend those funds, or we lose them back to the state. This brought to the attention of the Historic Preservation Board that there is need to discuss how multiple grants function together within a single project. They're making a suggestion to add the following verbiage to Appendix C for the Sydney Historic Preservation Handbook. When there are available funds through a state or federal incentive program that does not pay the full amount for the eligible project, the requesting entity can submit to the Historic Preservation Board for a facade enhancement grant program, signage incentive grant, and/or emergency stabilization grant incentives to cover all or some of the funds that were not covered for the project. The requesting entity must meet all of the documented requirements in Section 1.3 of this document. I did check with state CDBG, and they found nothing against doing it in this way. for the utilization of both incentives. Financial implication, this allows a building owner to use both the current facade enhancement incentive the city offers and the CDBG downtown revitalization funds available for the same project. Additionally, should the city be granted any other funds from federal or state levels, the funds could be once again used together within local incentives if they are allocated to the downtown area. There will still be costs incurred by the building owner, but it would lessen the overall financial burden for the building owner to restore the outside of their building within the designated grant footprint. So I'm suggesting we approve it based on the research that the Historic Preservation Board has already done on this. They did, I think they went over it in 3 different meetings, trying to figure out how this would work. Essentially, right now, your downtown revitalization program works. The building owner can get up to 75% of the costs for facade enhancement or internal code violations covered by downtown revitalization, or up to $100,000. What the building owner could apply for facade enhancement is 25% of that 25% that is their match to the 75%. I hope that makes sense.
We're wanting to use what we've been doing for a long time as a match to a bigger grant so they can do even more to their buildings.
So if a project was a $100,000 project, $25,000 of that would be the responsibility of the building owner with downtown revitalization. If they came back to the board and requested facade enhancement, they could only apply for the 25% that's left on their part, and they can only get 75% of that 25% covered. So
Okay.
they would end up covering 25% of the 25%. Sorry,
Okay.
we did all sorts of mapping and line drawing. It went around and around.
Yep.
Both these grants are reimbursement grants, right?
Yes, they have to spend the money up front. Yep. And actually, you guys are going to see that on your next agenda. There will be a reimbursement coming to you for one of those, but
Okay. Any other questions?
sorry I didn't have a whiteboard. I felt like it would have been so much easier. You got anything for Vicky? Okay.
Can I have a motion?
Almost.
I'll second.
Motion Kirkman, second Ratcliffe.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bonnegaard,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Consideration of transportation bus purchase. Casey.
Council, how are we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. I'll skip the spiel about what we do. You guys know what we do. We help out all through the community, whether it's schools, elderly, getting people to work and stuff like that. Here's a problem that has came up. Our 2021 Ford Cutaway is experiencing major problems. Along with lift needing repairs, multiple sensor problems, we now have a blown engine. These repairs will cost us over, this one says 11,000, but with the new estimates coming in, probably about 12,000, because it'll be the easy math coming up here soon. The bus has 96,000 miles on it, and over the 4 years, it's caused over $3,000 more in repairs to fix than our 2019. So just kind of pointing that out, that's kind of been a problem child. And that 2019 has, over 100,000 miles on it. So with those repairs, like I said, it's 12,000 to possibly fix, and only 25% of that would be at our cost. So that we're only still looking at only $3,000 to get all these repairs. But with everything that's happened to it, with how it's been acting, that's why I'm coming to you guys to see what you want to do. We do have 2 new buses coming in. One of these buses was supposed to expand my fleet, but with this 2021 having a blown engine, I'm coming to talk to you guys to see if we would like to possibly order another bus instead of repairing the 2021, ordering a new bus and replacing that, so then we can continue to expand our fleet that way. So it takes 180 days to arrive, so we're looking at next fiscal year. And with our 2-year budget with the state, I actually had allotted money for that, just in case something came up. So by the time that this bus would hit, we would be into next fiscal year, just so you guys know. But the cost of that would be just a little over 9,000 at 9.2. So what I'm coming to ask you guys is, what would you guys? My idea is to replace the bus, but I just want to get your guys' thoughts, opinions before I apply for a new bus and come to you guys, and you guys ask me why I'm replacing one of our newest buses in our fleet. So just one thing about it too, I talked to a lady in Alliance, and she was saying she's had trouble with hers, and she said, I would rather put money into one of my older buses than her 2021 that she has as well. So it's been a problem for a lot of transportation directors and stuff like that. I don't know if it was just the year, it was right around, like I said, that COVID time. So I don't know if they're rushing getting vehicles out, but I kind of want to know what you guys want to do. If you guys want to see me in a couple weeks and go ahead and order a new bus, or do you guys want to fix this one possibly and see what happens with it? I just kind of want some thoughts and opinions before I move forward, so you guys don't ask me why or anything like that. I know it's kind of open, but I know.
All right. All right, so how much would a new vehicle cost us? Is it this number right here? No.
The 9,200, yes.
And the cost of repair is?
This would be about $3,000. Yes.
So, I don't know, I guess, I like when you bring out all the data, because it makes it easier, lines on things, right? So I think you have to go back through, okay, so what is the job that you're filling at the transportation department? Like, let's break this down, right?
Mhm.
So, 3-year-old, what is it, 4-year-old vehicle now, we're looking at getting a new vehicle to replace it. So what is the long-term strategy? Are we not gonna have to worry about repairs on this thing for X amount of time? What about down revenue or not meeting our targets that we had, that we want to do the expansion for? Right? But I think it's important every time, and I know it's painful, Casey, to do it, but every time you come in, I love it, and I think the community loves it, when you bring all this information, you say, this is what we're doing, this is where we came from, and this is where we're going, right?
And that's, we're just trying to expand. My goal is to have 7 vehicles in operation, so we can have about 4 to 5 for the school kids with our numbers that we're expecting. We have over 100 kids a day that ride our bus, and with how well we have done this year, I'm expecting that number to grow. So where I want to be is about 4 to 5 buses during school hours next year, with 2 buses for the public, because our rider numbers today, or this month, our highest was 212, and that was only running 5 buses. That was incredible by our drivers and our dispatcher to be able to pull those numbers with just 5 buses. So this bus would be to expand, and that's where I wanted to be, was to be expanding. But right now, we're just at the point where, do we put money into an old bus, or do we just go ahead and jump forward and expand, and then kind of have to recalculate in 2 years which bus we're going to repair or replace?
Yeah, the risk assessment is really important.
Yeah, and that's why I brought up that it's costed over $3,000 more than a bus that's 2 years older. Just trying to show that this bus has been kind of a problem child for us. Just to clear that up. So
Are all your vans Ford Cutaways?
all but the Ford Transit, yes. And that's the one that we got in just a couple months ago. The guys like the Ford Cutaways. It's easy to open on the doors and stuff like that. That Ford Transit, their big problem is that door is really heavy, so a lot of our passengers are unable to get that door open, and so that's the only one of their downfalls with that. So if we did go with the Ford Transit, that actually cost us $9,000. So there's a $200 difference between the Ford Transit and the Cutaway. So you're looking at that.
Is the 21 still under warranty kind of at all? Or?
The engine and everything is not. The only thing that's under warranty is the electrics and a little bit of the lift. So the lift, would still cost us probably around $1,000 to fix. But the rest of the base of the vehicle is not under warranty, the engine and
I
transmission.
think the miles are beyond the warranty, aren't they? How many miles does it have?
Yeah, the miles on it is 3 years, 60,000, so we're past that. And then on the warranty on the body of it is 4 years, 100,000, and we're past that. So, you know, out of the 3 warranties we get, 2 of them are pretty much surpassed. So I guess I'm just asking, do you guys want to see me next week, or do you want me to replace?
I mean,
Or in 2 weeks, I guess.
I don't want to see you next.
is there a motion to consider a bus purchase?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion Ratcliffe, second Kirkman, or Coons.
Bondegaard,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Radcliffe.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. See you in a couple weeks.
Yes.
Safe Streets Action Plan, David Scott.
Well, that should be interesting since the mayor's not here. What we have here, as you know, we've spent over 2 years putting together, for those of you who don't know, the city was one of the first 8 cities in the state to receive money through the infrastructure, bipartisan infrastructure package under the Safe Streets for All program. We were awarded $300,000 with a 10% match for 60 grants. It was a $360,000 grant to do our Safe Streets Action Plan, which is step 1 for the way the program works. There are 2 types of grants through the Safe Streets for All program. There is the action plan and there is the implementation. And we are very close to finishing our action plan. So we will probably be bringing the final, we won't probably, we will, bring the final plan to you guys here early June, so very soon. And we have it almost done, but a couple of the requirements are some letters from the mayor just saying that he commits to the goal of 0 deaths, moving forward, which is clearly the plan. We didn't need to bring this. Mayor could have signed these. So I don't want you to think that you're committing him to something that he could have just did. But we thought it was good for the whole council to, see that the city is moving forward with our Safe Streets Action Plan. And we really look forward to applying right away then in July for the implementation grant to start doing some of these things that are in our plan. But we did need to have the mayor commit to the goal of zero fatalities in the future throughout the implementation is what we will want to do to accomplish these things through public education on certain things, speeds. There's so many different things in this plan. It's a lot of people put a lot of work into this. We had multiple people on our committee with people from NRD, people from Department of Transportation, people from Park and Rec, people from Street, people from Tourism, police officers or people at the hospital. It gave us a lot of input when we went out and visited with them, which you don't want it to get to that point where it gets to that. You want to stop it before somebody winds up there, right? But it was also good to hear their perspective as well. So anyway, so if you think that Brad Sherman would be okay with not liking traffic accidents, you could vote to have him, approve him to sign these 2 letters for the Safe Streets Action Plan.
I don't know, do you think he'd be against it?
No.
Do I have a motion to have Brad sign these letters?
I'll make the motion that Brad signs the Safe Street.
I'll second.
What else can we
Motion.
vote him to do while he's not here? No, I'm just kidding.
Motion,
Kirkman?
Coons?
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Bondegaard.
Yes. Brad gets to sign something. Ordinance 1870, authorizing the change of city park. Chief Lovato.
Good evening. I'm Chief Lovato, and I'm here with Chase from Parks. We want to discuss a proposed amendment to City Ordinances 1062.02 and 1062.03, which both address park closing hours, one for the actual park, one for the pond itself. As many of you know, we've been trying to evaluate different options and trying to make everybody feels safe in our parks. It's been an ongoing issue that we've kind of identified, that we've put a lot of resources into. The current ordinance, while I believe it was well-intentioned, has presented us some challenges, though. We believe that the proposed changes will address these challenges effectively. The most significant changes we're proposing is the shift from a fixed closing time, which is currently 11 p.m. till 6 a.m., to a dusk to dawn type closing time. So that will take into account multiple different factors as far as in the wintertime when it's dark at 6 o'clock versus the summertime when it's dark at 9 o'clock. Doing something like this does seem pretty simple, but it also brings along several advantages. The first one's going to be enhanced safety. First and foremost, this change will significantly enhance our safety in our parks. Dusk to dawn closures align with the natural light cycles. This reduces the cover of darkness, which tend to deter illegal activities, vandalism, and other behaviors that put the park property and people in the park at risk. Speaking for my side of it and patrol, the park's very difficult to patrol at night. There's so many gullies and trees, and Memorial Gardens is hard to patrol. The tubes in the park, the pond itself sits kind of in a valley. Us driving through there's too many places to hide. Not to mention when it's 10 o'clock at night, everybody's legally allowed to be there. There's no way for us to really have any teeth for us to go in and start doing patrols and so forth. It will reduce the cost by minimizing the potential or the behaviors that we talked about earlier. It should start reducing our costs associated with property damage, freeing up resources and money that are spent on replacing and repairing park facilities, investigation man hours, court costs, and along with all those other little idiosyncrasy things that we have to deal with. It also lets me keep more cops on patrol in the streets during those times compared to trying to walk around the park when it's 10:30 at night and there should really nobody be there anyways. A year-round consistency, since it's a dusk to dawn, everybody knows it's dark outside, park's closed, it's light outside, park's open. It makes it kind of somewhat simple. We do recognize the importance for recreation, and the revised ordinance reflects that. We've included a provision that allows the use of the ball fields, basketball fields, tennis courts beyond dusk, provided that there is adequate lighting available and allows residents to enjoy these facilities while still ensuring safety. So we don't want to take anything away from anybody else. We know the basketball courts are well lit. We know the baseball fields are well lit. We know the tennis courts are well lit. We don't want to take anything away from anybody else. It's just a matter of safety. If it's well lit and we can see everything and everything is safe, we have no trouble with keeping what we're doing. We also have flexibility for community events. The ordinance maintains a process for organized groups and sanctions events to obtain permission for extended park use beyond these hours. This ensures that our parks can continue to host community gatherings such as the Night of Hope, movie theater in the park. They just got to go through our process the same way that anybody else would use city property. It just adds a little safe feature in the process. In summary, these changes are not about trying to restrict the access to the park. It's not my goal, nor is it Chase's goal to restrict anybody's access to the park. They are about trying to promote responsible use and enhancing safety for those that are using the park. I do urge you to consider these changes, but really only verbiage on them that change is basically just the time itself. Everything else pretty much stays the same. I do believe you guys have a copy. So with that being said, Chase, anything?
The Parks Department fully approves of this time change as well. We've had a lot of vandalism in our restrooms, in our parks, under underpass, many different things, Memorial Gardens. And this gives Sam some teeth to be able to go in there. Hey, it's that dark, you can't be in here anymore, to be able to get rid of some of this vandalism. With that, we've also changed our hours on our restrooms as well. So they open at 7, they close at 6. And we're gonna keep that schedule going. We've been doing that for about a month now and have not had any issues at all. And then during the winter, they're gonna be closed as well. That's where a majority of our vandalism happened, was about 5 o'clock during the winter months when it's dark out. So we're gonna start closing those restrooms down. We did that this year. Had no really any complaints about that. But yes, we fully approve of this. And thanks, Sam, for creating this for us. And this helps our community for sure.
My question is like somebody during the winter gets off and wants to walk their dog like at 5:30. They walk through that, will they get in trouble?
So all it does is give us basically teeth to engage them. Currently,
Okay.
right now, there's still people, the park doesn't we open until 6 o'clock. If my officers cruise through and see somebody with a Walkman on their arm jogging through, we're not gonna bother them. It's gonna be when we see a car parked with the lights on by Memorial Gardens at 10:30, what are
Yeah.
they probably doing? You know, that's, we don't really have a real big, nothing to stand on to go talk to them. Now, we see somebody running all messed up at 5:30 in the morning in the middle of summer because the
Yeah.
road's covered. Now we have reason to go engage them. Hey, you're not supposed to be here. What are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
So your typical jogger, we're not going to do that any more than we currently are.
Okay. Okay. Vicky, you got
Just out of curiosity, does that include the soccer fields, north side, and like the walking path also?
It would include all park, City of Cindy Park, so North Park, Vision
Cemetery.
Park. It would pretty much include everything, yes.
Okay, and that's spelled out, that is in
It
there
should be,
then?
yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Now, just to clarify, is the
That's what I
walking
looked at.
path included on that then?
It's considered a park.
Is it?
Park property. So yeah, it is considered that. It'd be like the Deer Run Park, soccer fields, North Park, all the way through the walking trail to the fairgrounds as well, so.
okay.
Anything else?
Anybody else have a question? Do I have a motion to designate ordinance 1870?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Coons,
Yes.
Radcliffe?
Yes.
Bonnegaard?
Yes.
Kirkman?
Yes. I gotta let you take it, man.
Clerk, read the title.
An ordinance of the City of Sidney, Nebraska to amend Chapter 10, Streets, Utilities, and Public Services, Title 6, Other Public Services, Chapter 1062.02, Closing Hours, Chapter 1062.03, Park Regulations of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Sidney, Nebraska, to repeal any ordinances or part of ordinances in conflict therewith, and to provide for an effective date of this ordinance.
A motion to waive 3 readings.
I'm not gonna do that one. I think we let that go.
I think we let people a chance to.
Voice or opinion? Okay. The motion to pass, or do we do that since?
Okay,
have to wait
the
till
motion
3.
to waive was by Radcliffe and who's, I didn't hear.
No, we didn't.
No, they're not
do it.
motion.
We didn't motion to waive.
So then it'll just be on the next.
So that means we just put it on the next agenda. and we-
Second
Yeah.
reading of
So
the
we
next
move it
agenda.
on to the next
Yep,
council
that's
meeting?
correct.
Good idea.
Let's wait, let people come in and talk about it.
Okay.
So we don't pass it then, do we?
No, it does not
Okay.
pass. We'll put it on for the next meeting.
Okay.
In case anybody has anything to say.
Yep.
Strategic planning dates for May 25.
Yeah, since, well, first of all, I'll just, in January 2023, the council attended a workshop to create the city council strategic plan for the next 5 years. The plan was last revisited in January of this year. We had originally intended to visit the plan quarterly. And we did, the council did have a retreat, but after that retreat, or during that retreat, it was mentioned that maybe it is time to revisit this plan again, outside, separate from that retreat. So I wanted to put this back on the, because there were things that were, you were wanting to change clearly in the retreat. So I did put some options here that I know, the clerk will be here and I'll be here and the room will be available. If you guys want to choose one of those, or if you choose not to. I mean, either way. But these are some options for you to do that if you still want to do that, so.
I can't do Tuesday or Wednesday. I am out of town.
Say I'm out of Wednesdays.
So Wednesdays are no good. I think there isn't a Tuesday. Oh, there is one Tuesday option.
I was only going to be able to make the Tuesday or the Wednesday noon option. So it'll be good.
I'll say Wednesday and noon, I guess, probably.
So none of these work for all of you? I can go back and try to find some dates further down the road, maybe in later May or early June if you'd like me to, and bring it back.
Yeah, that should work. I mean, I'm good with Thursdays or.
Yeah, I just can't make that one week, but any other time's good for me. We can go earlier, later, whatever you want to do.
Oh, it's just a time issue.
So Thursdays would work?
Thursday works, yeah. Thursday, Friday, they'll both
I'm
work for
gone
me.
that Thursday, the 15th, and Friday, the 16th.
Okay.
But once again, if it works for you guys, you're not going to hurt my feelings.
I
We
wish I
gotta
knew
have
what
you there,
Brad's-
Burke.
I wish I knew what Brad's schedule was. But there would at least be 3 of you if we did a Thursday. Is that your wish?
And Rob's available.
What's that?
He can make anything happen.
Did you guys prefer lunch, or do you prefer like a 4 in the afternoon?
4?
I think lunch. What do you think?
4? I don't care.
You like 4?
Doesn't matter to me.
That's when all my creative ideas, but I've nothing like really good. It's just like nothing but throwing out ideas in that time frame.
Do you work better with lunch?
Yeah, I'll be a little more like,
Noon Thursday?
May 15th.
I don't
That's
care.
still
I'm
in
just
time
saying
to get that
whatever.
posted.
Do whatever.
Do we need to ask Brad though, or?
That's what I don't know, because he's not here. I don't know. Do you want to just say tentatively Thursday, the 15th, and if Brad has a heartache with that and wants to attend and can't do it then we'll just bring it back at the next meeting?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for
Okay,
coordinating
Thursday,
this.
May 15th, at 12, unless otherwise indicated.
That gives you enough time to get it posted and everything?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Good job.
Perfect.
City manager report.
I had a few things, but the first thing I want to do is, after a long, exhausting search that spanned many years, right? We have finally appointed a new assistant city manager, and that person is Josh Hansen. And do you want to say a little something about yourself? This is your chance.
Look at that.
You get going right away on day 2.
That's amazing. I'm not going to grill him. You want to come over here or you want to say, yeah?
I want to address everyone.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's cool.
But nobody's going to hear you.
Hey, give him a mic. Mic him up.
Like David said, my name is Josh Hansen. Started as the assistant city manager as of yesterday. A little bit about me. Most of my childhood was here in Sidney, Nebraska. Lived here for 12 years. Then we relocated to northern Colorado. Finished up high school there. Went off to the Marines for 4 years. After that, went back to Colorado for a little bit. Decided it wasn't for me. So ended up in Omaha working for Immigration, Department of Homeland Security out there. We left there after my wife graduated medical school. Came down and I worked for the Nebraska Department of Labor for 8 years. With that, did a lot of different roles. Started out as a veteran career coach, worked my way up to regional workforce development manager for the Mid-Plains Economic Development region. Then we had opportunity to come back to Sidney with both of our careers. So we jumped on it, switched over to an administrative role with the Nebraska Department of Labor, where I oversaw the implementation and the development of workforce programs, both on a federal and state level for the 88 counties of the Greater Nebraska Workforce Development System. So, saw an opportunity, went and did some on the private sector for about a year with Adams as a talent development manager. Saw an opportunity to come back and be in the public sector, the government sector of things. And it's kind of where my passion had been for the last 8 years, and something where I can focus all my energy on Sydney. I really wanted to take that opportunity. So here I am. Hopefully I can make a good difference with that, but really excited to be here. Any questions?
Welcome to Sydney.
What's that?
So welcome back to Sydney.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Happy to be here.
I hear nothing but good things about you,
Yeah,
so
we've all heard
we're
Hopefully.
glad to have you.
You have heard everything then? Yeah. We'll try to keep it that way.
Oh, and then the few other things, tomorrow morning, if any council members want to show up, we're doing breakfast on the bars. I think some of you have been to that before, so it's in the fire hall. Department heads will be there at 6, starting to cook, but it starts at 7 to 9 usually, 7 to 9ish, so show up for enjoying the rest of the city staff for breakfast. Feel free. And then the tree giveaway is this Saturday, I believe. Am I stealing your thunder? Do you want to talk about? I'll let you talk about that during your comments then. Sorry about that. The third grader field trip is April 28th. It starts at 8 a.m. here, and I think you're going to be here for that, right?
Yes, sir.
Fabulous. And then it's a little ways away yet, but I wanted to get as many times as I can. Plug this. The Keep Sydney Beautiful is doing the Great Trash Race. That will be June 7th. Starts up at the Visitor Center. And sign up is 9 a.m. They have raffles, trophies, food. So if you want to join in on the Great Trash Race, that is going to be June 7th. So I might mention that a few times before it happens, just 'cause I think it's really awesome what they do for the community. So, and that's all I have.
Okay. Lori?
Nope.
Kendra? Marshall?
All good, thank you.
Autumn? Josh, you want to go again?
No.
Brandy?
Heading to Lincoln on, Thursday night, start to get the input from the UNL students so we can see what their ideas are for Hickory Square project. And then we go to the NIFA conference next week, see what's going on for housing statewide. And then we are doing public input for Safe Streets for All, trying to get the public's opinion on projects that they think are more important, most important. I can't remember what the dates are, but we'll make sure we put it out. Corey
We'll
will
make sure we get it out there.
make sure that we market that and get it out to the public.
Have a council member that might know.
Doing it. I did have it at the Spring Expo for voting for the public. We've got, I think, roughly 100 people come in and vote on
That's good.
projects that they thought were important for safety within Sydney.
Okay. Kagan?
Sitting with 24 views, and 9 of them are still with us.
Dang. Chase?
We got our Tree City giveaway going on April 26th at the Shelter House. Doors open at 7, program will begin at 8. So all you do is you come in, you have 3 choices of trees that you want. So your first choice, second choice, third choice. And we have 12 different trees to choose from, about 100 of them all together. And we'll go through the list, first pick, everyone will get their first pick if they're all available by that time. And then if there's still some left over, we'll go through our second pick, and so forth. But yeah, so it is at 7 a.m. on Saturday, and program starts at 8.
So is it supposed to blizzard this Saturday, or?
It's usually cold that day.
It's supposed to be 80.
Okay. It's a little warm for a tree giveaway.
Not your first choice, show up early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there to help you out, so whatever you
I'll
need,
say I'll be there too.
you can
so-
put me to work.
Present the Arbor Day flag to council, so we'll do that presentation as well.
Chief? Casey?
No, I'm good.
Dean?
We start our Saturdays for, open the landfill, 8 to noon on Saturday,
This Saturday or?
this Saturday.
Okay.
Which Saturday of the month is that every month?
It's
Just
on
same
the-
one?
It's usually on the third Saturday.
It's always the third one? Okay. Just want to
Over
make
the
sure. it's-
holiday, last week, we had to move it out.
Oh, okay.
Brett?
Yeah, no, I just really like it when people in the community do really positive things for the community. So the Easter egg hunt was the big one, since the last council meeting that we had. I thought it's a lot of work for a plumber for about 15 minutes of fun, I guess. I don't know. It's not long at all. Yeah, and most of that's the kids just unwrapping everything, right? It's like 2 minutes and it's done. So no, I thought that was a really cool thing.
Rob?
First off, happy birthday, Brandon.
Yeah.
Do we sing?
No.
I don't know, that'd break an ordinance or something.
Yeah.
Like to welcome Josh aboard. I hear good things and looking forward to seeing it. That's all I got.
Okay, welcome, Josh. I do have a thought or a question on the trash race you mentioned. If someone wants to help, but they maybe can't help on, would you say it was June 7th?
Yeah.
Is there any way to help?
I guess I would reach out to Keep City Beautiful, and I can do that and see if there's another way that they can do that. I'll find out.
Okay. Yep. I just want to say welcome, Josh, to the city again, and if you have any questions, call Brad at 249-2321. We are adjourned.